What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another match preview. This time it is that gigantic game against Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium, so we're going to be previewing everything there is to talk about in this huge Goliath game. So first up, you'll notice that I'm away again, but I'll still be having videos coming out every single day. It's the most important time of our season so far. I'm not going to be missing that for content, so make sure that you do stay tuned and subscribe and put your push notifications on. So we're going to crack on with this preview. We're going to first up, like always, start off by looking at our opposition, Liverpool. What a complicated team they are to look at as well. Now, my opinion, I feel like this is going to go one of two ways for Liverpool to approach the game. Either a very defensive, counter-attacking Liverpool side, which we saw a little bit of in the Champions League last season, after 20 minutes in the first game at Anfield, and in particular at the Etihad, particularly in that second half where they just set up, look for the mistakes from Manchester City, poach forward, look for the opportunities, and because they've got a lot of quality up front, put it in the back of the net. Now, how they go about doing this is you may see Enquiries end up missing out, slotting into the centre and trying to cover them gaps. You may see someone like Wijnaldum end up starting the game instead. Won't be surprised to see that. Or you may see Liverpool go a little bit more offensive. Liverpool might just say, here's our style of football. We're top of the league, and we're top of the league for a reason, because we've been playing like this for the whole season. Today's no different. We're going to be playing at the Etihad like this too, and see how Manchester City cope. If that's the case, we may see Liverpool being a lot more attacking and seeing Enquiries end up being somewhere in and around their attack. Obviously, we're going to have the front three of Mane, Firmino and Salah. I'm a little bit concerned about the Mo Salah situation with regards to our left-back situation, but there we go. But for Liverpool, they've done so well, and one of the areas that they've done so well in has been defence. Van Dijk and Alisson, the two additions that they've made since last January, have been absolutely sensational for Liverpool. Liverpool obviously struggled a lot in the Champions League final last season, addressed their goalkeeping situation because of that, ended up bringing in a very good goalkeeper in Alisson, and obviously Van Dijk now starting to settle into the Liverpool side and starting to prove the quality of what, and showing why Manchester City last season were after him too, before Liverpool ended up paying £80+ million that Man City were never going to pay for him. So a lot of complicated situations for us to deal with. Liverpool's got a very attacking, pressing, tackling midfield that can cause a lot of problems. They can win the ball higher up. They can also spring a counter-attack within a couple of seconds. They've got a lot of problems up front too, with their front three being a very attacking, very good front three. Mane obviously getting back in the goals too. Firmino scoring, I think, a hat-trick the other day against Arsenal. And obviously we don't need to talk about Mo Salah. We already know Mo Salah's quality. So there's so much for us to think about. And not to mention their defence. Their defence, the best defensive record in the Premier League at this moment in time. It's like the perfect team that we're playing for Liverpool. It's at the perfect time. They're in form. They can't stop winning. They can't stop scoring. How do Manchester City go about winning this game and getting back in this title hunt? Well, I'm going to tell you how I think Manchester City are going to approach it. Now, one of the biggest problems Liverpool could have is if Kevin De Bruyne is fit to play in this game. Kevin De Bruyne being one of the best midfielders in the whole world, in my opinion, and apparently he's around 80% fit. Would you risk an 80% Kevin De Bruyne? I certainly would. It gives Liverpool's midfield something to think about. Obviously, Liverpool can be got at. I saw it against Arsenal. Arsenal went 1-0 ahead at Anfield. The defence, whilst it's been defensively like a rock, can be got at if we can create the chances. We do need to be one thing though, and that is very clinical in this game. If there's one little bit of Liverpool's ill discipline that Man City can maybe exploit, we saw it last season. Seen people debate it, I'm not too sure why, but Mane got a silly red card at the Etihad last season, raising his studs up. Ederson getting to the ball first, he ends up getting sent off. If he'd gone in with his head, he wouldn't have been sent off, but because he'd gone in with his foot, he did. Now, could he be got at? Just suggesting that. Mane, pretty silly against Arsenal in putting his hands around the neck of Lichtsteiner, and in my opinion, probably should have been sent off. Lichtsteiner, people complaining about being with the elbow. Well, obviously that would be a sending off too. I don't really care about Lichtsteiner though, because I only care about Mane because we're playing Liverpool. So in my opinion, he's lucky not to see red, and he does have a little bit of a hot streak that if we can get at him, he can start making or doing stupid, silly things. Now, people have been moaning about Liverpool and referees and being biased, etc., etc. But to be fair, if we're going to lose to Liverpool, well, I have a feeling that it's not going to be because of referees. We're actually going to be losing because, well, we made too many mistakes and Liverpool punished us for that because they're a class side. And if Manchester City end up winning this game, it won't be because of referees. It'll be because Manchester City, I'm almost certain, will have played a perfect game, or Liverpool didn't take their chances. One of the two. That's how this game's going to go. Now, for the Premier League, Liverpool sitting 7 points clear. A win will see us go 4 points behind them. A draw, we're still 7 points behind. We'll go back in second over Spurs. But it's a bit of them there. I'm not too sure if I see Liverpool dropping too many more points throughout the rest of the season. And I start thinking that if that is the case, that we draw this game, we've got really no room to manoeuvre. We kind of need to win every single game and then hope that Liverpool start dropping points somewhere along the line. And the fact that Manchester City go so many games unbeaten and winning, it's very difficult, particularly in the second half of the season. So we've got a chance here to cut Liverpool's unbeaten streak. End that. We've got a chance to be able to cut the points from 7 to 4 and put pressure on Liverpool. So this kind of is a must-win game for us. So to be fair, pressure on us really in this game. We've got no Mendy, so we're facing having Zinchenko or Danilo at left back possibly. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're also going to have no Bravo, but we should have Gundogan coming back. We've got De Bruyne coming back. So it isn't as short in midfield this time. We've got Fernandinho back as well. So obviously we're able to make things happen in midfield. That isn't really our weak point anymore. We've got our attackers still fully optional. Mahrez, Sane, Raheem Sterling, Aguero, Jesus. Pick 3 of them 5 basically. So it all comes about defence. We're going to go with Danilo, we're going to go with Walker, we're going to go with Walker and Danilo. We're going to have Danilo going up against Mo Salah, we're going to have Zinchenko going up against Mo Salah. Zinchenko obviously made the mistake against Southampton, but Pep praised him for how well he did in recovering himself, being able to get the assist and showing when you do make a mistake, that is how you respond. And Pep 100% bob on the money with that one. That is how you respond. I'm not too sure I'd go with Zinchenko in this game. No offence to Zinchenko, but Mo Salah's a very quick player, and Zinchenko isn't the quickest. So one or two options for me. Danilo's a more defensively sound player, so you could go with him. Another option for me would be to go free at the back and go with Laporte, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, one positive for Manchester City is we don't need to be scared of Liverpool. Obviously, we beat Liverpool last season 5-0 at the Etihad. I felt like we was extremely unlucky at the Etihad last season in having that goal disallowed in the Champions League. That goal, if it's correctly given, sees Manchester City, in my opinion, win that game. So Liverpool, well, on the road in the Champions League this season too, I'm looking for weak points. I'm seeing the Champions League, Napoli played a perfect game, hit them on the counter-attack, 90th minute won. They went over to Crvena Zvezda, they lost there in a disappointing result for Liverpool. They went away to Paris and lost as well, and PSG at times outplayed Liverpool, so they can be got at. You know, I feel like too many Premier League teams respect Liverpool, show them too much of a respect. I can accuse teams of doing that last season against Man City too. Too many teams showed us too much respect, that it made it all too easy. I'm accusing teams this season of doing it to Liverpool and putting up a little bit more of a fight against us over the last few games or so, because previous to that, they weren't really doing it to us either. But teams, because we've lost a couple of games, they're starting to not show us as much respect, and therefore we're having more competitive games, hence the last few games in the last tricky month or so. And I imagine if we can beat Liverpool, ends their unbeaten run, teams might be thinking, that's the way to do it. But yeah, we're a very hard team to be able to copy, in my opinion, because we've got so much quality in the team. But we need to win this game. It's as simple as that. Now, my opinion, we could go free at the back. If we go free at the back, we're going to see Laporte start. I imagine it'll probably be Stones and possibly one of Kompany or Otamendi. Kompany played in the last game. I'm not too sure we'd risk him. I imagine we might go with Otamendi. Otamendi tends to make a lot of mistakes, so I'd probably try and avoid free at the back. But if that was the case, then go with a strong midfield. We could well see Aguero and Jesus go up front too if we end up going free at the back in like a 3-5-2. You never know. We might pack the midfield. If that's the case, we might go with wing-backs. We might go with maybe Walker. We might go with Danilo. We might even go with Sterling and Sane at wing-backs. I'm not too sure I'd advise that. You need to track back a lot, so we might see Mahrez in this game, in my opinion. Now, in terms of score, I think there's going to be a winner in this game. I think there's too much riding on this game for it to be a 0-0. I think Manchester City aren't going to be as defensive as what we was at Anfield, and we'll really give this a go. And because we're going to give it a go, it's going to make it a nice open game. Liverpool will like that. I like it being a Manchester City fan, because when we play defensive, we tend to make a mistake, we'll be punished, and then we have to go back to being attacking, and therefore it plays into Liverpool's hands. So we may as well just go with what we went with last season, see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We move on. If it does work, great, we're back in it. So that type of situation. I think this might be a both teams to score in my opinion. Liverpool like to score, they like to score quickly, they like to put us under pressure from the off. Manchester City like scoring in the first 15-20 minutes too. So it'll be extremely interesting. We could see ourselves like the Arsenal game where it might be 1-1 after like 15 minutes. Crazy? Could be 2-1, could be 3-1 after 20 minutes. It's one of them games. Anything can happen. Because I've said that, naturally it'll be 0-0. But, you know, would you take a 0-0? I wouldn't be, I'm not too sure if I'd be happy or not. It just keeps things ticking along, really. It keeps us stringing along in the title race, where not really being in it. We're 7 points behind. We're relying on favours from other teams. We need to go and do it ourselves. So I've gone for optimism here. 3-1 Manchester City. How we go about doing that? Well, give the ball to Kevin De Bruyne, work the ball through midfield. Fernandinho's back. We've got Kevin De Bruyne. We could see David Silva slotting alongside him. That's an absolutely excellent midfield. That'd give any team in the world quite something to think about with that midfield. What do we go for up front? So I'm going to pop up my team prediction. I'm going to talk you through that and see if you agree, and tell me in the comments below who you think will start in this game. So I've gone for Edison in goal. I've gone for Walker to return to try and deal with the pace of Mane and try and snuff out the threat of that side. Then gone for Stones and Laporte to try and deal with the threat of Firmino and Shaqiri if he ends up starting. If not, then dealing with Liverpool's runners. One big problem they got is they like to bomb up from the wings, in particular Robertson. I've seen it do it numerous times against us, so we need to be very careful. So Fernandinho needs to be doing a lot of covering in this game, which is why I went with De Bruyne and David Silva in the midfield, because I feel like they're our creative best players. De Bruyne likes to sit deep so he can help in. David Silva likes to try and snuff out counter-attacks higher up the pitch as well. Everything's quite nip and tuck, if you get what I mean. Left back's the problem. I think we might see Zinchenko. I've gone with Danilo. I'd go with Danilo personally if it was up to me, but I feel like we might see Zinchenko there. I've gone for Mahrez, Sané and Aguero. I've gone with Mahrez just purely because I think he's our best winger at tracking back, and I feel like our way of winning this game is keeping Liverpool out, and I'm confident that we've got enough quality in our team with De Bruyne, David Silva, Mahrez getting forward, Sané and Aguero. We can hit them on the counter-attack. We can score goals. As long as we're clinical, we're capable of beating any side, and we need to be clinical in this game. So that'd be my team. Raheem Sterling doesn't have the best track record against Liverpool. We could see Raheem Sterling starting this game. We might see Mahrez come back. I'm not too sure. We might see Mahrez come on from the substitute bench. We might see Sterling come on from the substitute bench. I'm not too sure. It's a very tricky game, this, to be able to predict, so I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. But there we go. That's been the big preview of this Goliath game against Liverpool at home, where we kind of must need a win. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget, if you're new around here or you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, put your push notifications on, because we're going to have the analysis up on it's Thursday the game, isn't it? So Thursday 8 PM, so I'll have it up Friday morning, so stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you all again very soon for the next Manchester City video. So I'll see you then. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the game, Blues. Peace. Ciao for now.